Alright guys, so I just finished up my watch of Scare Me from RLJE Entertainment. So did this horror comedy do enough to scare me? Find out in my latest Blu-ray review. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Ken here from Mid-Level Media, back again for another Blu-ray review. Today we are going to be talking about this new horror comedy from 2020 is when I believe this came out, Scare Me, starring Aya Cash, Josh Rubin, Chris Redd, also written and directed by Josh Rubin himself. So he both writes, directs, stars in, wears a lot of hats in this movie. This is a Shudder original, so it came out on Shudder last year. It was also at Sundance, where I believe it won a couple of awards, and then it was recently put out on physical media from RLJE, like they tend to do with most of these Shudder original films. So I bought this a couple of weeks ago, might have been like 3 or 4 weeks ago now, so this is kind of an older title, but I still wanted to talk about it because I just got around to watching it. If you haven't yet subscribed to the Mid-Level Media channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the Mid-Level Media community. I do all kinds of great, amazing content on this channel centered around the world of physical media, Blu-ray reviews, 4K reviews. I do out and about videos, weekly Blu-ray hunts. But yeah, guys, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit that like button. I would definitely appreciate it. And comment down below if you have seen the film Scare Me. What are your thoughts? If you were thinking about picking it up, did this review either help or keep you from picking this film up? Let me know in the comment section below. Regardless, I will have a link to purchase this in the description below, so definitely check that out. So with all these reviews, guys, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the movie, then we're going to go to a quick unboxing, then we're going to come back and talk about the visuals, the audio, and the special features of this release. So first off, guys, this movie, I'm going to give you some positives and I'm going to give you my negatives. Overall, I'd say I mildly enjoyed this movie. I wouldn't say that I was over the moon for it. So let's get into my quick positives here. I thought, the performances were good. Aya Cash, who is Stormfront in The Boys Season 2, she's just kind of coming on the scene. I know she's been in some stuff previously, but she is a good performer and it shows in this movie. She's required to do a lot of very showy things in this film, and I think that she does a great job. Now, Josh Rubin, who from what I gather is a comedian, I think he auditioned for SNL or whatever back in the day. I'm not too familiar with him, but I know a lot of people know him just from what I gathered from the special features. He does a good job as well. Also a very showy performance. The two of them, they have good chemistry together in this film. So also, I appreciate the originality here. This is a pretty original, not necessarily original story, but it's original in the way that it just constructs this narrative and puts it together. And we'll talk about that here in a second in my negatives. But I appreciate the originality of this film because we don't get enough new original concepts, and even if it's something that doesn't fully land with me, I appreciate somebody swinging for the fences and taking those chances on new original ideas and concepts. So I did enjoy those aspects of this film. Also, going back to the chemistry, Aya Cash and Josh Rubin, I think that those characters, they work well together. I like the more intimate kind of dramatic scenes where they were really getting into their characters, the depth of their characters and just their insecurities as far as their life as writers. They're both horror writers, stranded in this cabin together, and they're kind of forced to entertain each other by saying stories. So every time they took a break from the improv segments of the film, I enjoyed their interactions, just kind of their personal conversations with each other. And as far as the ending, I enjoyed the last 20 minutes. I enjoyed where things went. I even enjoyed the epilogue of the film, which I won't spoil, but I thought it was pretty humorous. So let's go ahead and get into my negatives, guys, because I do have quite a few negatives with this movie. Like I said, I appreciated that they swung for the fences, that they tried something new. But to me, this movie on the whole felt like one big improv skit. It felt like I was watching an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? And that would be okay if the things that they did were necessarily funny, but I didn't really find a lot of the writing in this film necessarily smart or witty. So when they went to do these improv sets, they were mildly humorous and I understood where they were going, but every time they injected one of these skits, it just broke up the narrative flow of this movie and the story that I was actually interested in. So like I said, this is kind of the gimmick of the movie. Like, this is the bulk of the movie, is these improv skits that they do throughout it. I just thought that, you know, it would go somewhere, and I thought that maybe, like, because the back of this movie says that those improv skits, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it says that they kind of blend reality with fiction. So I thought that there would be more realistic aspects of this film and actually things that happen, and there's really not. It really just is them performing improv for each other, trying to scare each other for the duration of this movie until you get to the end, and then things pick up just a little bit. Like I said, with the performances, I think that they're good, but the characters of Fred and Fanny are just so annoying. Like, I did not like either one of them, except for when they kind of got a little serious and started with their personal conversations. They were just incredibly annoying characters that I did not enjoy watching on screen, let alone trying to scare each other, make me laugh, or whatever they were trying to do throughout the duration of this film. I just didn't find it that funny. I didn't find them that entertaining, and they annoyed me more often than not. And also, like, just the comedy, for a horror comedy, and I'm not a huge horror comedy guy. Like, there are some that I enjoy, like more recently, like Cabin in the Woods, I would classify as kind of a horror comedy. I really love that movie. I think it's smart. This one, it has very little horror, and the comedy that it tries to go for doesn't necessarily land for me, except for one thing, and that's the woman that drives him to the cabin in the beginning. The way she pronounces James Cameron's name and then refers to Titanic as a franchise. She says, "From the Titanic movies." I found that kind of humorous, and she also has a pretty interesting arc that develops later on in the film that I thought was humorous as well. So pretty much, she was probably the only character in this movie that I even mustered a chuckle for. So yeah, guys, at the end of the day, like, I appreciated certain aspects of this film. I appreciated the originality. I thought that the performances were very good, but it just wasn't a movie that narratively, the way that it flowed, the gimmick of the improv, it just did not really connect with me. It didn't resonate with me. So I gotta give this movie a 3 out of 5. I think that there are people that will enjoy it. In fact, that there most certainly is people that did enjoy it. It's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's just something that I didn't necessarily like, and I kind of wanted to see the story go in more places than it did, and it did not. So as for the movie, guys, a 3 out of 5. So let's cut to the unboxing, then we'll come back and talk about the audio, visual, and special features. All right, everybody, and welcome to the unboxing portion of this video. Right here, guys, you see this is a Shudder original, as is with most RLJE titles. You have a Scare Me on the side right there with that image of Aya Cash. Right there on the front, you have both Josh Rubin and Aya Cash right there. You have a pull quote, "What could go wrong at a cabin in the woods?" The cast at the top. Right there, you got that Stream Your Fears Shudder free 30-day trial that usually comes with every one of these RLJ Shudder releases. Certified fresh right there, guys. This is not a sticker. This is actually included on the slipcover. A delightful and spooky surprise of a movie from Nerdist. Flip it on the back. You have another image of the rest of the cast of the film. Another pull quote. Sundance. This was an official selection 2020 Sundance. Right there, you got the synopsis. You got the special features, and right down here you have the cast list and the specs for the film. This is, of course, Shudder and RLJE. Let's go ahead and take it out of the slipcover. Right here, guys, we have the same image. You do have the certified fresh logo right there. That is not a sticker again. Right here, guys, we have the spine. We have the reverse, which is pretty much the same as the back of the slipcover as well. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now, with most RLJE releases, in fact, I can't think of one that does, but there are no digital codes, but you do get this 30-day free trial right there, guys. So that is a cool feature that they have, and I do like that they have disc art on here, so that is cool. You don't always see that with these kind of lower tier releases or regular Blu-ray releases, so that is a good addition to this release. So let's go ahead and put this back in. We will close the case, guys. So as for the packaging, I mean, I like RLJE packaging. I like this kind of Blu-ray banner that they have at the top. I think that's a unique style that only RLJ does because it's so kind of big and bulky. So I do appreciate that. And it just looks like, you know, from looking at the spine that you are looking at an RLJ title. So I like that they have distinct features with their slipcovers, but really there's nothing special about this packaging. I will give it a 3.5 out of 5. So let's get back, guys, to the visual, audio, and special features portion of this video. Yeah, guys, as far as the visuals, you know, this is a standard, you know, HD Blu-ray disc. Like, the transfer's clean. It looks good. I mean, it is a newer film, so that's not really that hard or difficult to pull off. So I give the visuals on this a 4 out of 5. It's nothing outstanding. This movie is shot primarily in dark by candlelight. It looks good. You can see everything. Everything is clear, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. As far as the audio, guys, audio crisp, clean, no issues there. I'll give that a 4 out of 5 as well. As far for the special features, guys, like, there are some good special features on this. There is one podcast episode, it's about 20 minutes, that I wish was filmed, like, and you could see it, because you click on it and it's just the voice that you hear playing. So I did enjoy that special feature, but also I wish that you could actually see the people, because this is a Blu-ray disc. It's not an audio disc. So I would appreciate if they actually had camera footage of that podcast, like some of the other RLJE titles that I have reviewed, like Host. There's a behind-the-scenes photo gallery, some interesting shots, interviews with the cast, like there's a couple of Q&As with the two leads of the film that are mildly entertaining. They're fun to watch. There is a director and cinematography commentary, so audio commentary in this movie as well. There is a music video that it doesn't make sense with me telling you about it unless you've seen the film, so I'm not going to spoil that aspect of it. There are outtakes in this movie as well. Yeah, guys, that's for the special features. I think that they're okay special features. You know, I think for this release, for the price of it, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's nothing that blew me away, but it was nice to have a lot of different things to look over with this release. So at the end of the day, guys, a 3 out of 5 for the movie, a 3.5 out of 5 for the packaging, a 4 out of 5 for the visuals, a 4 out of 5 for the audio, and a 3.5 out of 5 for the special features, for a combined score of a 3.5 out of 5, guys. It's really only, I'd say, the weakest part of this movie is the actual movie itself. So take that for what you will. Everything else, as far as the presentation, audio, visual quality, is very good. So if you are into horror comedies, if what I talked about sounded good to you, you might enjoy this film. It is only $13. That is the good thing about these RLJE releases. They're pretty cheap. They're not too much. So yeah, I might recommend this film to you. If you're a big horror comedy fan, you might enjoy this. Just kind of base that off of what I said. But if you are interested in purchasing this movie, there is a link down below in the description, so check that out. But that does it for my review of Scary from RLJE Entertainment and Shudder. Please like this video, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on this movie, if you've seen it or if you're going to pick it up, and we'll see you next time.